Hi everybody, Elliot from Lazy Dogs Records. Hope you're all doing great. We have 4 times a year a record show comes to my neck of the woods, comes to Raleigh, which is about an hour's drive from my home. And I try to go each time it does come along. We've got those 4, and we've got 2 that come to Carborough, which is a little further away, but I make that one sometimes. So about every 2 months or so, I'm able to make it to one of the record shows, and I'm a bargain hunter. Make no bones about it. I'd rather go to a record show and come away with with a bunch of records that I got for say under $2 on the average, than go in and buy Pink Floyd for $40 or $30, whatever it's going for now, or the Led Zeppelin, whatever, 2 or 3, or the Untitled or whatever, and pay a tremendous amount of money for them. And so I thought I'd go over what I picked up at the show yesterday, and I got several that I paid a little more for, things I was really looking for, and then I got a lot that ran over $1, $1.50 range once I bought some quantity. I got this one that I'd been looking for, Bill Withers, and this is Still Bill. Interesting cover. Opens out like this, and very reasonably priced, not outrageous. And Chester says, "Hey, look at the camera, Chester. Don't just look at me. Look at the camera. You need to be photogenic." Okay, you good boy. Yes, you are. Okay, I love you too. All right, go lay down. Go lay down. One of the first albums I remember hearing at one of my brother's friends' houses when I was maybe 15, maybe 16. He let us come over and hang out a little while, and he put on this guy named Roy Buchanan, and this was the album he put on. This is his first album, and so I had the opportunity to get this one at a very, very reasonable price, and so I picked that one up. I've got several Roy Buchanan's albums, but I did not have that one, so really pleased to get that one. And this is the real winner right here. This is what had never actually owned this one. And this is one of the Vanguard copies, Doc Watson and Son. So this is when Merle first began playing with his father. A lot of information provided there. This is in excellent condition. And it's just something, you see that, and you see it in that good a condition, it's time to buy it. I didn't pay that much for it. I got that along with another record, the Roy Buchanan record, and we made a little deal, got it for a little less from that same dealer. I'm always looking for Capricorn Records record label, and of course there's the inner sleeve for Capricorn. And this is Bonnie Bramlett from Delaney and Bonnie. I think she's divorced Delaney by then. There's your Capricorn label. And that's Bonnie Bramlett Memories. She had, I don't know how many albums. I know she did at least 2. I got 2 of her albums from Capricorn on there in my collection now. Pick this one up. And same dealer, I got Memphis Slim. And this is on the Everest Records Archive of Folk and Jazz Music. If you see that label there with that little setup there, that is there's nothing fancy about the labels or anything, but they re-released a whole lot of great music, and this is Memphis Slim Volume 2. And here's a B.B. King, Indianola, Mississippi Seeds. Watermelon guitar there. To be honest with you, I couldn't really remember whether I already had this album or not. But it was a good price for $5, in good shape. And then from out of Missouri, I mean, probably say out of LA via Missouri, the Dillards. And I've got most of the Dillards albums. I didn't have Decade Waltz. And there they are. And you may know the Dillards if you're not that familiar with them. You may know the Dillards for the Andy Griffith Show, the Darlings. They played the Darlings in a bunch of episodes of the Andy Griffith Show. You're maybe familiar with Glenn Clark from the Byrds. He does some duets with one of the Dillard brothers. Has duet albums, Dillard and Clark, they're called. One of the great traditional bluegrass bands at a time when everybody else was trying to be progressive or newgrass. From the DC area, a lot of great bands coming out of that area in bluegrass in the 70s. Johnson Mountain Boys, and this is Working Close, which generally I think it refers to using one mic and everybody singing and playing into one mic rather than having individual mics for the different vocals. So I paid, $3 to $9, $9.50 for those records, and the rest of them I got. Some of them for $1. Some of them I bought in bulk. They wanted $3, $4, $2 for them. I negotiated it down. I bought in bulk and got for about the total, counting those that I paid more for. I think it averaged out to my records averaged out to $1.75, $1.80 a piece. I like to kind of think of it that way, instead of saying, "Oh, I paid $9.50 for this record and $8 for this record." No, well, when you average it out everything I bought, average out about $1.75. Okay, and Keith Jarrett Standards Volume 1 with Gary Peacock and Jack DeJohnette. This is one of those ECM jazz label records that I've learned about from Greg, I believe, on Rundown or Sherv, and some different folks that talked about the jazz. And there's Volume 2. And then here's on Impulse, Sonny Rollins. Sonny Rollins on Impulse. Don't know what year this was, but it looked good. It's a mono version. Groovin' High, Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker on Emus Records. And I've been on Stanley Turrentine binge. It seems every time I see one, it seems like I buy it. But this is on Phoenix. Yes, Phoenix 10 record label. And some modern jazz, I guess you call it, I don't know what you call it, but Pat Metheny group. Okay. And here's one, I don't know if it's jazz, what it is. I buy records sometimes because I say, I bet that's interesting, let's see what it is. And anybody who knows the Don Shirley Trio, this is Waterboy. I know the song Waterboy. Othello did that, and Rhianna Giddens did a great version of that recently. I don't know if they're more classical or jazz or exactly what the Don Shirley Trio is, but I thought that looked interesting. Here's another that I really don't know. Danny Epps. Anybody know who Danny Epps is? It says something about it's one of the Texas singers, another Texas songwriter from the mold of Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Townes Van Zandt. You start talking about that, I say, okay, for $1, you darn right I'll pick it up, and hopefully it's bound to be pretty good. Texas singer-songwriter. And somebody tell me something about the Greasy Wheels Radio Radicals album. This is on London Records. I don't know if this is a UK group or an American group. This just happens to be on London Records. But I mean, I'll look it up and find out what I can, but I'm just not familiar with Greasy Wheels. Anybody familiar with Gladstone? It says from down home in Tyler, Texas, USA. So, okay. For $1, let's see what we've got here. And here's an unopened snuff Night Fighter. Now, this may be the country band Snuff from Virginia that I used to see playing south of Virginia and eastern North Carolina sometimes. It was a good band, and they had some success with Curb Records, I believe. They at least put out a couple of albums. This is probably them, but I wasn't sure. Never seen this album before. I do have one Snuff album, but it's just a self-titled. Then we get into to a lot that I paid $1.50 for. Great Johnny Winters. I'll go through these pretty quick because this is running kind of long. Used to see Foghat all the time. They used to play. They toured. I don't think they ever slept in the same bed 2 nights in a row. They used to tour constantly. When I was in high school, I bet I saw them 3 times. They just come through. 6 months, 10 months later, they come through again. And there's the Foghat album. I believe somebody did. Dave Edmonds produced this. Yeah, produced and mixed by Dave Edmonds. Thought that, so it's going to be pretty good. Here's an early Steve Miller Band album. I'm not familiar with this particular album. And here's Steeler's Wheel with, this includes Stuck in the Middle with You. I guess their only hit. Were they considered a one-hit wonder? I don't know. Oh, here's one I was just so pleased to see for $1. They had it marked $2, but I got it for $1. Al Green, I'm Still in Love with You. Great Al Green. It's the epitome of cool, don't you think? And then we get into some blues with Jimmy Reed. Building up my Byrds collection. Here you go. This is the 73 album when the original lineup got back together. I think to try to make sure they could keep the name or something, some legal issues. You know, it's got Gene Clark, Chris Hillman, Dave Crosby, Roger McGuinn, and Michael Clark, that original group. After several different variations of the group had come out. And here's one of those variations, the Byrds Untitled. This is one of the Clarence White albums. Great flat picker, Clarence White. Played with the Byrds for a while. Try not to. And then we get into a little bit of a theme here. First Leon Russell album, I believe. This one's got Prince of Peace on it. Roll Away the Stone, Song for You, Dixie Lullaby. Prince Leon Russell. And here's a Leon Russell and Mark Bino album. I had never heard before. I hadn't heard it yet. I look forward to listening to a nice cover. Always like mentioned Bonnie Bramlett earlier, Delaney and Bonnie and Friends, on tour with Eric Clapton. If you like your R&B, blues R&B type stuff, Delaney and Bonnie are the way to go. Here's Eric Clapton's first solo album, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was Delaney Bramlett. Yep, he produced it and arranged it for Eric Clapton. And here's Eric Clapton's Rainbow Concert. James Taylor, Rainy Day Man, and the original Flying Machine. Some early recordings from James Taylor before he signed with Apple, I guess. Here's a Boss Skaggs I wasn't familiar with, Moments. I like to pick up all I can find of Tracy Nelson or Mother Earth. She was the lead singer for Mother Earth. Tracy Nelson. And her faithful dog is in this one too. Every album I've got from this period has this dog in it. Love dogs. Chuck Berry It's Golden Decade, and this is a Chess Records. Golden Decade. Nantucket Sleigh Ride from Mountain. Nice cover, isn't it? A lot of these records I'm showing you now came from, I think it was a dealer or a store that was trying to unload some stock they had sitting in the warehouse. They just stuck $1, $2, $3, $4, and $5 stickers on a whole lot of them, and brought them in those U-Haul boxes. And you know, I wasn't going to give them $5 for these records, but I wasn't giving anything close to $5. We negotiated. I took a few back that had been marked $5. I said, no, I'm not going to pay that much for it. And ended up getting what averaged out to be about $1.40 a piece for them. There's a Rolling Stones. Got Live if you want it. And we get into some Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck, Truth, Blow by Blow. That's a good album right there. And this one is Jeff Beck Group. And Jeff Beck and the Byrds. And I want to better wrap this up here pretty quick, but here's a copy of Tommy, Blues Project. Last time I went to the Raleigh Road Show, I ended up getting this. It only had one of the two records in it. I got in a hurry, didn't pay enough attention, and ended up getting that. So I found this one again, paid less than $2 for it. So Four-Way Street, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Great album. And there's Daylight Again, one of their later Crosby, Stills and Nash albums. Low Spark of High Heel Boys from Traffic. Oh, this is when we played to death back when we were in high school, especially on 8-track tape. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Live Bullet. That is one cooking album right there, man. I mean, I don't care if we were silly little 16, 17-year-old kids. No matter how old you are, that's some good rock and roll music. Oh, there's another Eric Clapton. I should have had it stuck in the other section. This is I think a reissue. They took songs from different albums and put it together. Amazing that Joni Mitchell's recording her albums do not bring much money on the used market. I don't know why they don't. She's great. One of our great songwriters and innovators. But once again, get it for the cheap. And here's one I was surprised because I'd seen this one in some of the big sellers, and they had it priced for $20, $25 or more. And this one, the cover's got a little wear to it, but the vinyl looks really good. Woodstock album. Music from the original soundtrack and more. Woodstock. So that's what I picked up at the record store Sunday on the 15th for Christmas. And I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a Happy New Year. I noticed I'm up to 100 subscribers, and I appreciate every one of you for subscribing. I'll do some sort of a contest, but let's wait until after the first of the year when everybody gets through with all the festivities and everything. It's a mighty busy time right now, but we'll do something to celebrate 100 subscribers. Take care. Remember, be kind to your neighbor. It's a small world, people. Everybody's your neighbor.